The international community has committed itself to new sustainable development goals that underline the right of all human beings to live in a safe environment. It is our common responsibility to protect the environment and to mitigate the impacts of both natural and man-made disasters. Since the mid-90s, there's been growing recognition of and concern about the human and environmental consequences of historic uranium production in Central Asia. These consequences represent a threat to human health and the environment. After the collapse of the Soviet Union, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan and Uzbekistan became independent republics in 1991 and inherited an estimated 1 billion tons of hazardous processing waste, highly toxic chemical and radioactive residues left behind and unsafely stored in tailing sites and waste dumps. In this seismically active region, which frequently sees heavy rains causing erosion, mudslides and landslides, the many tailing sites represent a real threat to human health and the environment. Land contaminated by historical mining activity has diminished the region's capacity for safe development. Water contaminated by this activity is adding to the already significant regional strain on water resources.
Как вам сказать, оорулар көбөйүп атпайбы, рак оорулары көбөйүп атпайбы, мындай көп жашабай эле, мисалы үчүн Кореядан иштегенде, ошол шахтадан иштегендерди, ошол уран иштегендер. Мен өзүм жеткиргем, жеткирип эле жүрөбүз, күнүгө эле айтабыз, бирок башка суу жок болгондуктан колдонушат деди. Ошончо элдин угадиша, все знает они.
Today it's clear that there is pollution, but also radiological pollution. And the whole situation needs to be contained. We need to stop the spreading of this material locally towards the population, towards the cattle who are grazing the grass, towards those who want to start arable farming, who wants to have fruit and vegetables there.
Ну, это наследие Советского Союза, мы были едины, поэтому и проблемы и решение этой задачи надо искать совместно. Поэтому каждая страна, если сделает, то же самое возьмете трансграничные реки у нас. Есть Сырдарья, который проходит по всем территориям нескольких стран Центральной Азии. Отсюда возникает вопрос совместное решение этой проблемы.
Some of the material are already into the big rivers down there, and it goes from country to country, and therefore it can further spread. From that perspective, it's not only a local or a national problem, it's also a regional problem. And you have to stop the pollution coming from the source in order to avoid that further regional spread of this material takes place. That's why we are there. We are there to show solidarity to the people there, but also to give them the possibility to build a more prosperous future.
Despite efforts already undertaken by Central Asian countries at national level and support from international programs and projects, some countries still have insufficient human, technical and financial resources or lack the infrastructure or legal frameworks required to adequately address the uranium legacy sites and carry out environmental remediation work in line with the highest international standards.
Таджикистан на сегодняшний день не имеет финансовые ресурсы для решения всех этих проблем.
И добавлю, что в своем заключительном этом добавлю, что мы доверяем МАГАТЭ, мы доверяем Европейской комиссии, которая тоже подключился к этой проблеме. Я думаю, что в конце концов вот этой площади под бывших урановых хвостохранилищ будет выполнено таким образом, в мировом стандарте, чтобы на столетии наши дети будут рады этими нашими трудами.
The need to tackle the environmental risks posed by these legacy sites was formally recognized on the 20th of December 2013 by the UN General Assembly. The corresponding resolution, among others, recognizes the need for responsible and safe management of radioactive and toxic waste in Central Asia, the role of the international community in averting the radiation threat in Central Asia, and calls upon the international community to assist the Central Asian states in resolving the problems of the uranium legacy sites. A coordination group for uranium legacy sites, Seagulls, was created in 2013. Managed by the International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA, in Vienna, its main objective is to coordinate environmental remediation activities and fostering cooperation and common understanding amongst the affected Central Asia countries and international community. The European Union is funding a number of projects in the region to prepare the ground for future environmental remediation activities. 4 environmental impact assessment and feasibility studies for projects located in 7 hotspots in Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan and Tajikistan. 1 water treatment facility in Taboshar, Tajikistan for cleaning toxic mine water. And 2 regional projects that will enhance local stakeholders' engagement in remediation projects and foster cooperation among concerned countries in the field of regional watershed monitoring system, regulatory framework and analytical monitoring capacities. In 2015, the EBRD, European Bank for Reconstruction and Development, established a multi-donor environmental remediation fund that will finance the environmental remediation of targeted uranium legacy sites in Central Asia. The European Union is the first donor to contribute to this fund. A donors' conference to support the new EBRD fund is planned. This conference will bring together stakeholders from governments, technical advisors, international organizations, NGOs, foundations, research institutions and the media.
Вы знаете, мы же не одиноки, и поэтому мы сейчас в партнерстве с многими международными организациями, странами, донорами. И именно, хотим, обеспечить безопасность населения от таких радиоактивных загрязнений.
The European Commission and his partners call upon all interested stakeholders to take part in the Donors Conference in 2017 and for governments to contribute to the EBRD fund. This fund is indeed crucial to avert the threat from the Iranian legacy sites in Central Asia towards human health and environment.